Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So it is my favorite time of year. I feel like we are officially into the fall season. It doesn't really feel like fall around here. I'm in the Philadelphia area, and a couple weeks ago it was kind of feeling like fall, and now that fall will actually be here next week, it's starting to feel a little bit more like summer. But I love this time of year. I love everything about it. I love when we transition into the holidays. I love it when the seasons change and we have all the colors and all of that. And I love doing fall makeup looks. So for today, I definitely wanted to do like a fall glam look. This is definitely a lot more glam than I would normally do, but I wanted to do a fall look, and I wanted to feature the Colourpop It's a Mood palette, because this palette is just like the epitome of fall to me. Like, I feel like this is just like the perfect fall palette. So anyway, that's what I have on my eyes, and I'm going to show y'all how I did the look on my eyes with this palette, and I'm going to show y'all how I did the rest of my look for today. So before we get into that, if you're here for the first time, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is SonyaNicole, and I do makeup videos here, including some stuff for us 40 and over makeup lovers. So if you're interested in that, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you join the channel, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. Okay, so I am actually living on the wild side today, and I'm going to be doing my eye makeup first, even my mascara before I do my base makeup. I never do that, but I'll explain in a little bit why I'm doing it that way for today. So let's jump right into the Colourpop It's a Mood palette. Let me show y'all what it looks like. I'm sure y'all have seen this a million times by now, but this is what the palette looks like, and this just like screams fall to me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think that there are some shades in here, like this row in particular. This one is like a very nice everyday color scheme for me for all year round, and then I feel like these colors here, these would be good ones to wear like in the winter time. So it is kind of like an all year round palette, but I don't know what it is about this color scheme. It's just like the epitome of fall. Like, they could have called this like the perfect fall palette, and that would have been like a perfect name for this. So when I got the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette, I said that I wasn't going to buy any more of these because they are kind of big and they don't have a mirror. But when I saw this, I just immediately fell in love, and I got it like the day that it came out. So my eyes are pretty much done. I'm just going to do something in the inner corner a little bit later on. So let me show y'all what I did so far. So I'm going to start off with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm going to be using this as my base for the eyeshadow. And I'm just blending it out, making sure it's nice and even all over my lid. Okay, and now jumping into the palette, I do my eyeshadow like kind of backwards from the way everybody else does it. I like to start on my lid with like my shimmers or like my main lid color, and then work my way out. So I'm going to start off with this shade here in the middle. That's going to be like that first shade that I have like on the inner part of the lid. And I'm using a really nice dense brush to pick up a good amount of the color here. I have a handful of Colourpop palettes, and I never had an issue. There's a little bit of a different shade on my brush. Hold on one second. Okay, I just had to use my color switcher for a minute, but I have a handful of Colourpop palettes, and I've always been impressed with like the pigmentation and how they blend out and everything. I don't think I've ever used a Colourpop palette that I don't like, and this one is pretty much the same thing. Like, I've only played around with the colors that I used on this eye so far, but so far they're blending out really nicely. So next I'm gonna take this shade here. Now, shades like this, I never use these types of shades, but I was just drawn to it today. So I'm gonna put this one in the center of the lid, and I'm gonna let it overlap that peachy shade a little bit. I actually brought this peachy shade in a little further than I wanted to, but I'm just gonna let this color overlap it. And this one is kind of like a greenish gold color. And then I'm using the same brush. I just cleaned off the other two shades that I just used, and now I'm going in with this matte brown shade, and I'm gonna put that one on the outer part of the lid. And then before I go any further with like any blending or anything, the two shimmery shades that I have on the lid, I'm just gonna go over them with my finger just to make the colors pop just a little bit. And then I'm picking up a little bit more of the brown shade on the tip of my brush, and this is going to go across my lower lash line. This is a clean brush. This doesn't have anything on it. I'm just lightly running the brush across the top of the eyeshadows where they stop. I just want to just lightly diffuse them. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just lightly diffusing the top of it. And then I'm taking a smaller blending brush and I'm going in with this matte shade here, and I'm going to buff this shade around all of the colors on my lid. And I'm also going to drag this down to the lower lash line as well. I'm going to go back in with, actually I'm going to stick with this brush, and I'm just going to lightly blend where my two shimmer shades on my lid are meeting each other. I just feel like they need to be blended in just a little bit more. Let me first, I feel like I need to build up this greenish gold color. And I feel like it's not showing up quite as nicely on this eye because, like I said, I brought that peach shade out a little bit further than I wanted to. So some of this green is being applied like on top of the peach shade. So I feel like it's altering the color like just a little bit. And now I'm just blending in between the dark brown shade and that matte peachy shade, making sure those two are blended in nicely as well too. And I'm just deepening out this brown just a little bit. Okay, and I think we're gonna stop right there for now for the eyeshadow. So next I'm gonna go in with some eyeliner and mascara. I always do these off camera just because it does take me a little bit to apply my mascara. So I'm gonna be using, as soon as I can find it. Did I put it back? I did put it back. I'm gonna be using my Hank & Henry Blickety Black eyeliner and my Colourpop Act Natural mascara. So I will put these on off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, mascara is on, but I forgot one thing with the eyes. I'm gonna take this shade here and I'm gonna put that on the arch of my brow. And I think when I go back in to do my inner corner highlight, this is probably the same color that I'm gonna be using for that. Okay, so that is where we are with the eyes. So now I'm gonna move on to the face, and I'm gonna be using my Morphe, what is this called? This is the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Focus Foundation, and I'm in the shade Rich 25. I'm just shaking it a bit because I haven't used this one in a while. The pump on this foundation is kind of, it can be kind of difficult to work with because it's like when you release the pump, more foundation comes out. So you have to be kind of careful. But this is my best matching foundation that I have. So again, I'm in the shade Rich 25, just in case you can use me as a reference. And I will say, like, this isn't like one of my favorite foundations in terms of like how well it kind of builds on the skin. Like, to me, it doesn't give quite as much coverage as it claims to, but it is still a really nice foundation, and I like it especially because of the shade, because this is like a really good shade match for me. I do kind of feel like I have to put on a little bit more of this than I would like to get the coverage level that I like for my face, but like I said, it's still a nice foundation. So, and this brush that came with the foundation, just in case, like, if you're not familiar, when that foundation came out, Ulta had a special going on where you could get the foundation and get this brush for free, and this is my favorite foundation brush. I love this brush so much. Okay, so because I'm going for more of like a glam look, like more glam than I would normally do, I am going to build up the coverage on my face, but I'm going to rely on my setting powder for that. So I'm going to stop right here for the foundation. So this is kind of like a high medium coverage, I'd say. So next we're going to go into under eye concealer. So the reason I did my eye makeup and my mascara before my base makeup is because I always have a problem with my lower lash mascara bleeding down onto my under eye. So what I'm testing out today is I'm hoping that by now my mascara has pretty much like set on my lower lashes, and I'm thinking if I go in with my concealer now, it's not going to bleed down because the mascara is set. So I'm just testing that out today. That's why I wanted to do my eye makeup first. But like I said, I never do that. It's just like, I don't know, it's just a natural thing for me to do my base first because I feel like I don't want to try to blend around the eyes. But anyway, I am going in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer. This one I feel like has the most coverage out of all of the concealers that I wear. I'm kind of like digging in here because this thing is almost done. But lately I have been using the new ABH concealer because I feel like I'm still kind of trying to decide, you know, how I really feel about that concealer. But I do know that I like this Estee Lauder one a little bit better than the ABH one. So I always blend out my concealer on the chin and the forehead with residual foundation. I just feel like that helps them blend in together a little bit better. And then I switch to a more dense brush for the rest of the concealer. I know some of y'all hear me say the same thing every single time, but I like to repeat some stuff just in case. Hopefully there's some new people here today. And then also because I already put that eyeshadow all across the lower lash line, that will also help prevent me from bringing the concealer up too far on the lower lash line, because I do have a tendency to do that. And I know that I shouldn't do that because I have a bunch of little lines under my eye, but sometimes I just kind of, I don't know why, I just forget and I end up bringing the concealer up a little too far. So I think I misspoke a little bit earlier when I said that I never do my foundation and concealer before my eyeshadow. That's not totally true because lately I've been doing my foundation, then my eyeshadow, and then my concealer because I've been using the concealer to clean up the eyeshadow. So I feel like I misspoke when I said that earlier. But either way, that's the concealer all blended out. I'm just going to go back in with my foundation brush one more time, and I'm just going to kind of pounce like in the areas where the foundation and the concealer meet each other, just to make sure everything is nice and blended out. Okay, and now I'm going to set the under eye. I'm going to use the same thing I always use. This is the L'Oreal True Match Powder in the shade C5. And I'm concentrating this just right on the immediate under eye area. I used to bring my under eye setting powder like all the way down, like wherever my concealer stops. But now I keep it like concentrated right on the immediate under eye area. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to set it with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. Now, usually I use the Sephora Micro Smooth powder, which I absolutely love. This one is a really, really nice powder too. It does have more of a matte finish, and I am more into like a natural type of finish, but I want to go in with this one for today because I want just a little bit more of like a glam look. So for me, glam is more of like a matte look for some reason. I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to be setting the rest of my face with this. This powder is really good at like helping to blur things and just give you like an overall like polished look. And I don't want to go in with too much because like I said, it does have a matte finish, but I just want to make sure everything is nice and set and, you know, nice and blurred out. So this was the shade Tan. I feel like I should have went in with the shade Caramel, but I am about to put bronzer on. Oh darn it, I meant to do my bronzer before my setting powder because I want to use a cream bronzer. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm still going to use it though, but I meant to do my bronzer first. Oh well, I have put this on top of powder and it does blend out just fine, but I did mean to go in with this bronzer first. This is the Tower 28 Bronzino bronzer in the shade Best Coast, so it's like a creamy bronzer, and I'm using this one specifically for today. I haven't pulled out any of my makeup brushes. I don't know what my deal is. I wanted to use this one specifically for today because it's like a really nice, like to me it's like a super bronzy type of shade. Like to me it's just a really nice shade for fall, and I think it'll tie in really nicely with my eyeshadow look for today. So you see it is blending in just fine on top of the powder, but I meant to do this first. And then I also will usually do my blush before my bronzer, but I guess because I did this out of order, it kind of like messed me up, but you know. I just feel like when I do my blush first, it prevents me from bringing my bronzer down too far on my cheek. And then I'm just switching to a different brush so that I can get my nose with this. And then I'm picking up my foundation brush and going right back over the bronzer on the nose to soften it back out. And I know that that may feel like it's extra work, and I guess it kind of is, but I feel like that's the only way that I can get my nose bronzer to look the way that I want it to look. I want it to look nice and soft and not like, you know, super sculpted. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with blush, and this is the Bare Minerals Blonzer in the shade Kiss of Rose. So this was meant to be a blush slash bronzer, but I feel like for me it's only good for blush. It is just like a little too, I guess, rosy for me to use it as a bronzer also, which is kind of surprising because I actually like, you know, very reddish toned bronzers, but this one is just like a little, it just looks like blush, like I put blush all over my face if I tried to use this as a bronzer too. And I usually do like orangey and peachy tone blushes, but I wanted to go in with something a bit more rosy today just to help offset the orangey peachy color that I have on my eyes. I'm going to set everything with my Fenty Makeup Refreshing Spray. I really love this. I don't think it's like really good at like locking your makeup in place. I just love how it kind of like melts everything together, and I just love the way it sprays out. It's like a fine mist all over your face. Okay, and finishing off with the lips, this is the Maybelline Bold Lipstick in the shade Coffee Addiction. So I recently did a video on my favorite brown lippies for fall, and this is one of the ones that I had on in the video, and I got a good amount of compliments on this one, so I definitely wanted to use this one for today, and this will go really nicely with the eye look. Okay guys, here is my completed fall glam look featuring the Colourpop It's a Mood palette. Let me know in the comments if you have this or if you're thinking about getting it. If you haven't picked it up yet, let me show y'all the palette one more time because it is so pretty, and it's just so like, it's just like the perfect fall palette. So if you've been thinking about getting this, like going back and forth, you should definitely pick it up. It's a really nice palette. But anyway, let me know what y'all think about the look. My hair is like really getting to me today because I just wanted to give my hair just a little bit of volume, a little bit of curl, and then this is what we ended up with. So I feel like my hair is like really big today because I like straight hair. Like this is just like, it just feels really poofy to me. But anyway, I know we're focusing on the makeup, so let me know what y'all think about the look. I really hope that y'all enjoyed the video for today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.